it is uncomfortable to talk about sexual grooming. It is uncomfortable to report a friend, a relative. It is also uncomfortable to lose a loved one due to sexual grooming. Choose your uncomfortable. Welcome to RTT. My name is Esther Maundu. I am here to do some bits on mental health. Remember, our focus, our vision is simple: to equip you with both spiritual and mental muscles. Now, today's topic is simple. I want to talk about sexual grooming. It is important for you to understand what sexual grooming is. Sexual grooming can happen to anybody at any given stage. So what is sexual grooming? Now, sexual grooming is whereby an abuser or a predator builds a trusting relationship or a deep connection with the victim with a purpose of exploiting them sexually. So sexual grooming can be done, online using a social media platform. So depending on who they are and what they want, this abuser will just use different avenues and different means to reach out to their targeted victim. Now, today I want to talk about sexual grooming to teenagers, sexual grooming targeting, children. What happens until this person wins the faith, the favor of their victim, and they are able now to manage them, they are able to control them, they are able to recruit them and also to use them sexually. Now, there are several steps that these abusers will use. Now, the first step is targeting. So the predator will identify a vulnerable individual, and then they will start some harmless conversations with them. So they're looking around and they will find a gap in the life of someone or their victim. It could be issues to do with self-esteem. It could be with issues to do with parental gaps. They're able to see that there is a parental gap there. They're able to even identify, if it's online, that this person, from the conversations that they have and the kind of the messages that they post, they have this kind of gap. Someone who wants to win you, they will always find a loophole. They will always find a way to, target. It could also be even matters to do with education. Someone comes in to help you maybe tackle some mathematics, how to go about this and this. It could be any kind of gap, remember. It could also be a spiritual gap. If they want this person, they will look for a way of just coming into the life of this person. And they always go for a weaker point, something that they feel like this person is struggling with. This child is going through this and this, and they are always looking at the family. Maybe there are struggles at home, parents are always fighting, and now they know that that is a very good entry point. They will come to that person's life to exploit them sexually, but then they will come in the name of trying to help this person. They want to fill the gap that this person has. They want to post a remedy to a gap or a need or a problem, a solution to a problem that this person has. So we know that nobody is perfect. Everyone has a vulnerable area. Everyone has a need. Everyone has an area of weakness. Get to understand that every abuser, every predator, they will gain entry through your weak points. So that is the first step that a predator will do. The next stage of sexual grooming is called gaining trust. So the predator will seek to gain trust with their victim. How do they go about this? After they have identified the gaps, they will start now finding access to the life of this person by trying to begin some simple conversations. One thing that they do, especially to youths and teenagers, they open up. They start by opening up about themselves. So they will begin some friendly conversations, like maybe giving information about themselves, private information like their names, where they stay. They will also talk about their age. Remember, they could be lying. They're doing that intentionally to trigger you, to also open up to them. Like if I tell you my name is so and so, you will also tell me what your name is. When I post to be, like I give you my location, you'll also tell me about whereabouts of your residence. They will also talk about your family. That is those who meet online and those who are maybe a distance off. But for those who know you, after they have identified the victim is your child, They will start offering to help, like dropping your child to school. Maybe they can also talk of helping your child with homework. You can talk of, it could be even a relative who is assisting your child in 1, 2, 3 things. Sometimes they come home, they want to watch some movies with your child. They do some calculated moves, very friend, to lower suspicion. They make sure that you cannot suspect them. They are very good, they are faithful. For those who are away, they'll also do other things, like, when they are friendly, they're just saying anything about themselves, they're okay, they trust you. So you'll find that at this stage, the parents will begin to let down their guard on their children. And also at this stage, you'll find that the victim who is now dating or talking to someone over the phone, they will start to feel like, this is a friendly person. So they start becoming less suspicious about this person. While trying to gain some trust with this person, you find that for those predators who don't know their victim, they will tend to ask them about their past. They will tend to ask them about their family. They will tend to ask them about their education, how they're doing at school, what areas they're struggling in, the relationship between you and your parents, the relationship between you and your siblings. And they will start discussing things around your church, things around your private life. So they've opened up, and they will start by talking negative about their own families, about their backgrounds, so that they can now lead you to opening up concerning your own family. They open up first about their struggles so that they can trigger you to also open up about your struggles. That way they have an entry point. They know that I will come into this person to fill this need. I'll come into this person to help them with this. But at the end of the day, they know what they want to achieve. They advance to the next stage, filling the gap. They will look at a specific need in your emotional support network. They look at the area that they think they can come in emotionally and fill a gap. So they will come up with some scripted behavior with an aim of thriving around that environment, creating a conducive environment, trying to gain and win and lure this person to trust in them. They create an environment of thriving. They become the friend. They become the solution to your issue. They listen without judging. They give some affirmations. They give some increased attention and affection. They'll buy a gift, for example, just a perfume or a flower or anything. The next stage that I dread most is called isolation. At this point, when this guy has gained trust, when this person has felt that need, when this person is just all the way with your child, with you, or with your loved one, what they do, they now isolate this person. Now, this is the beginning of the disconnect between the victim and their loved ones. This person will come in their life and literally try to dissolve every contact, the contact of their victim with their loved ones. They want to dissolve every contact. They want to discourage this person from, even communicating with their friends. They want to be the only ones in the lives of this victim. And what they do, they try to disregard. If it's a child, they will try to talk negative about their parents. They will talk negative about their siblings. They will discourage communication with their parents, ensure that they hide their phones, ensure that they are chatting away from, home, ensure that they are keeping everything secret. They ensure that they suggest new contacts to your child or to your loved one or to you. So they will try to suggest new friends. They can also make you hook up with other friends. For example, if it's this gang that they want to introduce you to, because you find that it's not just about sexual grooming, there are others who will want to groom people to criminal activities. So they will connect them to new contacts like their fellow gang. That is a very dangerous zone. We find sometimes that children who are so friendly, all of a sudden they tend to develop some attitudes. They don't want to stay with their siblings. They don't want to stay near their parents. They don't enjoy the outings, the family outings anymore. They want to have their private times. They want just to do their things. And every other time they are just chatting. Or maybe when they go chatting, you will realize that they come back moody, they come up changed. Someone develops some characters, some behaviors, whereby now they don't want any kind of attachment with the family. So you realize that this person is being isolated. And we all know the game of isolation. You isolate to kill. So what a lion will do, will identify a victim, and then they will now seclude, they will separate that victim from the rest of the flock. Then they will pursue this one victim. That way they are able to kill that person. So when someone is pulled away from their family, from their social attachment, from the social network that they are used to, they are introduced into a new environment, into a new life, and they are able now to adapt to this new way of life. From once this person has managed to successfully tune this victim from the family, what they do, now they go to the next stage, sexualization. You are by yourself, you are now alone, you are now adapting to new norm, new way of living. You are now being given new messages, find new attitudes. They're hardened. You don't have to do what everybody is doing. So you find that this person is now in the hands of the predator or the abuser. Now the abuser begins slowly by slowly advancing their agenda to the victim. It could be by just hugging, it will begin by just touching, it will begin by, messaging this person. Now they begin now unveiling their motive, their mission. They will begin sending some photos and then telling the victim to send also their photos, their nude photos. They will start to tell them to take photos of their specific parts of their bodies. Then from there now they will come to a point of not doing a meetup. If they're doing it online, you'll find that they're organizing for a meetup. From there, this person is able now to do anything. They go to any extent with their victim. They have the victim by themselves. They can now exploit them. They can now use the victim. They can now, seduce them. They can now expose them to any kind of thing. So you find that they are watching movies. They do watch pornography with the children. They completely expose this person to sexual activities, to sexual exploitation, to a point of now normalizing sex. Remember, at this point, they will still continue with, maintaining the trust. They will still continue pulling this person away, like disregarding the position of their parents, mocking their loved ones, is leading them to. So that is how one is sexualized. Now, there is another stage called maintaining control. Sometimes we wonder, how come that somebody is going through some pain, some oppression, with a predator, yet they are clinging to this person? Predators are very swift. They are also very cunning, and they are also intelligent. They know that sexualizing this person is not enough, or even exploiting this person is not enough, because they didn't recruit this person to use them for a day. They wanted to do it over a period of time. They wanted to continue doing this as long as there is an opportunity. So now that they have won this person and they're already messing up with them, what they do to the victim, they must maintain control. They must strike a perfect balance of causing pain to this victim and at the same time providing a way out of that pain. They come up with tactics of monitoring the relationship, the communication, the life, the social life of this person. Remember, they have their past with them. They have their areas of vulnerabilities with them. They have information about their parents and their loved ones. So they are able to threaten you or to threaten the victim with the information at hand. They also have their weird moments with them. They will use this information to ensure that the victim does not escape from them. They can threaten, if you leave me, I am going to report you to your parent. You leave me, I am going to put this on social media. You leave this, I'm going to expose you. Even have weapons. Some of them will go to that point of they threaten someone with some weapons and tell them, if you dare report this to your parent, if you dare report this to anybody, this is going to happen to you, I'll kill you, So they are in that level of now maintaining control over the victim. They are both the poison and the antidote. They are both the villain and the savior. They cause pain to the victim and they also provide relief from that pain. They offer some small rewards for the major damages that they are causing to their victim. They hurt somebody, then they try to find a way of escaping away with that hurt. Remember, you find that somebody is in a cognitive dizziness. Someone is leaving the predator, they go crying out. Then the following day, they are rushing and running to this person because he's somehow a narcissist, whereby he provides some relief on top of the pain. The pain but then they also are the relief. They are the enemy, they are also the savior. You find that somebody can't bear to be with them, but they can't as well bear to be away from the abuser. They weaponize the weakness of their victim so that they can gain control. They use the information about the victim to lower their esteem, to degrade them. When they say like your family is nothing, you are brothers are nothing, you always fight, you have nowhere to go. Remember, I am the only person who took you from such and such an environment. So they are just trying to maintain control. Nothing but maintaining control over that victim. Now, the victim will start to adapt. And how do they adapt? You find that the victim is so compelled to be with this person, and they have to adapt. They have to find a way of, adapting or coping with this new norm. At this point, some of the victims have already lost self-esteem. They've lost confidence in their loved ones. Remember, they are lonely, and that loneliness, because, they can no longer, hook up with their loved ones anymore. They're being abused. This is already affecting them mentally. Some will start contemplating suicide. Others will start doing, abusing drugs, end up in, panic attacks. Other people will get into depression. Someone can even get to anxiety. Everything that affects somebody mentally will affect these people. Schooling, you find that someone cannot complete their academics because they're already going into drugs, because they're already being exploited, because they're also, going through pain, this, stress. So all this affects victims mentally. And it is a subject that is worthy discussion, and it is important for us to raise awareness about sexual grooming. So to our children, to our youth, to our teenagers, please, you don't have to compete with anybody. You don't have to enter these games. You don't have to prove important, special to anyone. You don't have to compete with anybody on anything. If anybody comes to you, you don't know them, please ensure that before they get into your life, your parents are already aware about what is happening, and don't just let anybody in. Avoid sharing your private information with strangers. It is not recommended. If anybody comes to you trying to show you that your parents or your loved ones are weak, they are not the best, be sure that every family has an issue, and your family is just the best. They say that home is the best. You can't fit in somebody's life. So ensure that you watch, you keep vigilant over strangers and people who pose to be helpers, to be saviors, people who come to your life to sympathize with maybe a certain weakness in your life. Ensure that you are strong enough, you are strongly attached to your people, and then you are also on the watch so that nobody will lure you into sexual grooming. Remember, it is uncomfortable to talk about sexual grooming. It is uncomfortable to report a friend, a relative, even a neighbor who has exploited you sexually or who is doing sexual grooming to other people. But it is also uncomfortable to lose a loved one due to sexual grooming. Choose you are uncomfortable. Thank you.